Everybody hates me until they need me. What professions are examples of this? Lawyers. Lol. The U.S. Coast Guard for fishermen and boaters. Usually there's a pretty good working relationship between them, but some hate the Coast Guard for the various inspections they do. But the USCG is also the ones who will come out there in a storm to rescue them. IT, not the clown. Lawyer here. The expectation that because you are a lawyer you know everything about every law everywhere. In reality most lawyers are highly specialized. Accounting. The guy's actually trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty. Tow truck drivers, Germany. Plastic surgeons. My uncle is a plastic surgeon and he does only reconstructive stuff, fixing burn victims' faces and stuff like that. But when people ask him what kind of doctor he is and he says plastic surgeon, they usually scoff. Lawyers. Lawyer. What are some examples of being street smart? Don't ever tell the cab driver you don't know where you're going. Wear shoes you can run the fuck away in. If you're a tourist and lost, don't stand still to get your bearings. Go sit on a bench and look relaxed, like you're waiting for someone and just passing the time. Street smarts to give your kids if you get lost. Find the closest adult with kids. I saw this in action once at Disneyland when a 4-year-old kid approached me and my kiddos while we were eating. She joined us very calmly, introduced herself, and said her parents gave her the above advice. I heard her parents shouting her name not long after, and the relief on their faces was a sight. When in doubt, act crazy. Don't leave anything visible in your parked car. What do you call a person who only kills killers? Killer. Serial killer. Dexter. Vigilante. The one who knocks. The Boondock Saints. Punisher. Kira. A killer. Charles Bronson. Executioner. A murderer. A cop. A judge, a state-sponsored executioner, a vigilante, or a murderer. Depends on context behind it. Dexter, meta-killer, not Batman. In fiction? A cliché. Serial killer. John Wick with a pencil. Vigilante. But I guess it would depend on why they are only killing murderers. If he kills killers would he kill himself? If so, that would make him a suicide. Then he would not kill only killers but also suicidals. Fictional. A tertiary consumer. Executioner. Serial killer. Killer 1. A state executioner. Whatever they want you to call them. A guy I want at my wedding. Kira. Padrino Matador. A murderer. How old is too old to date an 18-year-old? Whatever age that listening to them gets annoying. DiCaprio, is that you? If you're asking this the answer is probably you're too old. Gets a bit sketchy beyond early 20s. I'm a 28-year-old woman. I'd say 22 is the cutoff. 18 is a fresh young adult with next to no real-life experience and older people can generally manipulate them due to that fact. POV you dated a 35-year-old at the age of 19 and now realize how goddamn creepy it was. At 18, I dated a 27-year-old for 3 months. At the time it didn't bother me, we had loads of fun together. But looking back, it was maybe a little weird. 23 older. Based on the what's the youngest woman I can date formula. Age divided by 2 plus 7. Edit both must be legal adults from that point half number ages of the younger party will be rounded up. What do you miss the most about the internet when it was still designed for people and not corporations? Not needing a login account for everything damn thing under the sun. Not being railroaded into apps when the browser version is perfectly fine looking at you. Reddit and Twitter free journalism, either without paywalls for example NY Times or with so many ads the page is nearly unusable local news sites. Browsing a variety of websites. Seems like the internet has been concentrated into like a dozen websites these days. Honestly, just the fun. It was like the Wild West in the early 2000s so every time I got on it was nothing but a blast. Now I get on the internet almost out of habit and it's almost never fun. YouTube used to have a huge variety music shows movies with little or no copyright policy and no advertisements. Being able to buy things outright and not subscribe to them. Just the way the world worked outside of the internet is what I miss. Neopets. Non-Americans of Reddit. Would you consider moving to the United States? Why or why not? Seems like a beautiful country filled with some great people. However, I wouldn't live there until they sort out workers' rights and the health service. No. In the UK I get around 35 days paid leave every year which I am openly encouraged and in some cases required to take. I get 6 months fully paid sick leave if I need it. My health care is free of charge. Yes, the NHS has issues, but if I wind up needing treatment for cancer, I won't end up with a £1,000,000 bill at the end. I don't worry about my kids getting shot at school. Has anyone here said yes? Can't find one. No. I don't like their health management issues, worker rights and politics. Holidays yes, but not to live. It's far too polarized and feels dangerous. People who get out of bed quickly when they wake up, what's your secret? I don't think about it. That sounds insane and not helpful, but I built the habit of immediately getting out of bed when the alarm goes off. If I get up and out before I have a moment to think about the fact that it's ringing and I don't want to get up, then it's easier to do. I do the same thing for chores. If I just start doing it before I have a chance to think about it, it's easier to keep going. I set my alarm to the last possible minute. No time to dally. Put the alarm in a place where you have to get out of bed to turn it off with the volume all the way up. Don't get back in bed. Have to pee. My dogs urgent need to pee. I have cats. They will make sure I'm awake and then they work together to make my remaining in bed an untenable option. Stopped using snooze. Now I am just totally awake when it's time to get up. Plus, I get up at the same time every day. What does Europe have that the US doesn't? Roman ruins. Cities that expanded before the popularization of the motor car. Multiple countries to visit. More than 2 political parties. Liechtenstein. Well, for starters, USA is a country while Europe is a continent. So Europe has many countries but USA has only one. Castles, good public transportation, less school shootings, affordable healthcare and gun control, passable infrastructure, a working healthcare system, holidays, time off, gun control, free healthcare. With the war in Ukraine? Still less gun deaths, monarchy, kids who aren't afraid they'll get murdered at school, a decent healthcare system, safe schools, damn good chocolate for like $2. No, Hershey's is not good. It's just sweet. Good beer and really good bread. Laws against hate speech. Good fucking food. Food. What are you sick of people trying to convince you is great? Rake on earbuds. Waking up at crack of dawn just to get a head start on the day. Oh my god, running. Runners are such evangelists. Running will change my life apparently. Fuck that. I did couch to 5K just to shut them up. Successfully completed it a week early. Hated every single minute. But now I have the proof it's not for me. Alcohol. Every time I'd go out and people saw I don't drink they'd ask me why. When I explained I'm teetotal, they'd try their best to get me to drink. I'm not a virgin to the stuff. I was a drinker in my teens but realized I hated it so packed it in. They're untrained, unleashed dog. GTFO with that mess and don't bring it out in public until you have actually given it some meaningful training and a leash. Also, if you are not physically capable of restraining that dog, don't bring it out in public ever. What country has the most unappetizing cuisines? As an Australian looking for my country but realizing we don't actually have a cuisine. We just steal the best from others. Lol. Might have been more mental than anything but the amount of reindeer dishes I had in Finland felt very wrong during Christmas time. Smiley face. Iceland. Beautiful country. Less than mid food. Whoever has that little egg with the bird still in it half born with feathers. That's the winner. I spent a month in Vanuatu and I've never had worse food in my life. We ate lap every day with his basically baked taro root with no salt or seasoning and a little curdled coconut milk on top. Because we were visiting some villages that we had family connections to, sometimes people would kill a pig, so we would have meat maybe once a week, and we might go fishing once a week or so. Other than that it was lap. Lots of lap. To all the non-weed smokers. Could you have a partner who smokes daily and doesn't consider quitting? Probably not. Not in the they should quit for me sense. It's their business not mine. But we probably aren't a great match for each other. As a weed smoker I could not. I'd say no. If they can't even fathom quitting and they have to do it daily it feels like an addiction, and I don't want to deal with that. Plus I hate the smell. That's a pretty big deal now that I think about it. Hard pass. Hell no. My partner is a daily weed smoker. I wouldn't consider myself one as I barely ever do it or just not at all. Only to help me sleep when I want to and that's it. Having a partner who smokes, for me at least, isn't an issue. No. But this is due to weed rising my anxiety to unbelievable levels. I would not seek out a weed smoker to date in the first place. So. What food do you think is overrated? I kinda hate huge burgers that you can't eat without everything falling on you or the plate. Like it's not a burger if you have to eat it with a knife and fork. Anything that resembles any of the output of this random foodie hipster bar menu generator. Gold flaking is kind of dumb. It doesn't really add anything other than an unnecessary garnish. Fondant. Looks very nice if done correctly, tastes horrible. This conversation is making me hungry. Ass. Supposedly it's great and everybody eats it. I could never get behind it though. What is a luxury item that people consider a basic need? Good toilet paper man. In NZ. Period products are still taxed as luxury items despite campaigns to overturn it. In my experience many people see airplane flight as something close to a human right. I find it extremely privileged to be able to ride airplanes at all, not even considering annually like others. A $15,000 wedding ring, brand new iPhone, restaurant food, flavored beverages, alcohol and drugs, almost any subscription service, pre-made meals in most cases, bottled water, teeth, apparently expensive coffee. Atheists or religious people open to conversation, What are some things about a certain religion that, while they mean well, do you think are harmful? When they try to save you from going to hell simply because they think you're a goner. I also don't like the fact that they think those who don't have a religion or different beliefs have no morals. Since how could we without a religion? Like, come on, use your brain, man. It's called using rational and just being an okay person, not wanting to do anything bad. Using fear as a weapon for manipulation. Fear of hell, to be more specific. Especially for kids. Like, if you act naughty, you'll spend all eternity burning in hell. Believe what you want, but stop trying to apply your religious moral standards to anyone but yourself. What are things racist people say and claim it's not racist? I can't be racist, I'm not white. Anything that references race and compares it to another race, and especially if there's a double standard at play. Oh well, she can do that because she's black. I'm not racist, but I can't be racist because I'm black. People who aren't white can't be racist. I'm curious to see how people react to that. Anything prefaced by I'm not racist but, or I have plenty of friends but, she's so pretty for a black girl, or she's like exotic pretty. Their kind need to fucking I. Okay. I'm trying to tell my Dutch family members that maybe Zwarte Piet is kind of racist. And now, I know this question was trying to go the other way, but they went full on, well that's how black people were in those times, so I don't mind dating people, but I'd never marry one. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. What famous person is actually pretty talentless? Pretty much most influencers. Those TikTokers that have almost 100 mil followers for fucking dancing. Brooklyn Beckham, Big Ed. Hell, he's so untalented. He's famous for his lack of relationship skills, self-awareness. Brendan Schaub, 699. His freestyles are so bad it is crazy. I heard a kid say Charli D'Amelio is the best celebrity. Steven Seagal, we the best music. Kylie Jenner, Kardashians by far. Piers Morgan is an absolute talentless cunt who, as editor of a shit rag newspaper, hacked the phone of a dead child, Millie Dowler, and made her parents think she was alive. What a lovely guy. Joe Bastianich, from MasterChef. He's a businessman, not a chef. The way he talks down to the contestants is disgusting, considering he can only cook one style of food. DJ Khaled. The USA is allowed to adopt one full country as its 51st state. Which country and why? England, to make it full circle. The other country, am I being kidnapped? Chad, because its name is Chad. China, then things will be made in the USA again. Mexico, so the wall will become shorter, thus more affordable to build. Georgia, just so the rest of the world can stop having to explain to Americans that it's a country too. Now the Americans can just bicker amongst themselves over which state of Georgia they mean. Liberia for ironic purposes. Cuba. Finally secure the Gulf of Mexico and Panama Canal. Afghanistan. You broke it, you buy it, just make Puerto Rico a fucking state and call it a day, man. Taiwan, just to make Xi Jinping shit blood on his birthday. Russia. Can't have threat of total atomic annihilation if there's no more Cold War beef. What are some cute date ideas that aren't stereotypical? Painting together. Escape room. My favorite is going to buy cake ingredients in a movie, then baking the cakes in the evening and watching the movie. Or like waffles or cookies or something. Bookstore if you all both like reading. Going to a really weird concert together. I still haven't tried the Walmart date night, pick a candy for one another, snacks, movies from the movie bin. Something like that. Having it be in a social setting with board games is surprisingly revealing if you're just getting to know the person. Sometimes there are unique little local events you can do. For example, there's a local place where I live that does a wine drinking painting class where everyone paints the same thing together. There's also a local theater that has a room full of assorted furniture and a giant screen, and every Saturday they play 80s cartoons and have an all-you-can-eat cereal bar for cheap. I'd ask around the local area for things to do. What do you think about removing "In God We Trust" from American money? I don't care whether it's there or not, tbh. I'm atheist, I don't believe in any God. But 4 words are hardly on my to-do list for America. Till it's only been on there since 1957. Hear me out. Start minting all the new ones with "In Dog We Trust" and see if anyone notices. I'm all for it, but don't waste money removing existing references. This isn't a battle worth fighting to me. So many other religious intrusions that matter way more. It shouldn't be there, but on my list of things that need to be changed, this is way down the list. We need to take God out of the Supreme Court and the legislatures first. I think it's justified, but it's definitely not my primary concern. You know what is a primary concern of mine, though? The inclusion of religion in politics and government. Never should have been there to begin with. So hikers of Reddit, what is the strangest things you've seen on the trails? A man resembling Santa wearing nothing but granny panties. In a swamp in Florida I found a picture of a high school age girl, looked like a graduation picture, stabbed into the ground by a kitchen knife and surrounded by black candles. Also had an old naked barefoot hippie lady come jogging up a mountain past me on the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. On the way down a small mountain hike with some friends, we spot another hiker alone coming up the trail towards us. When we get in talking range, he says, "You all want to see this cool dance?" Then proceeded to do the Rick and Morty Get Swifty song. Full squatting down and everything. Stand straight and said, "Have a good trip and stay safe," then keeps walking. Never seen anything more strange on a hike. Strange.